Good evening and welcome to the first of 3 meetings this evening. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove, and at this time we'll convene our Board of Sanitation meeting. And we'll, in lieu of a roll call, I'll introduce the participants. To my far right, Dave Harrison. To my immediate right, Dan McMillan, our Clerk Treasurer. To my immediate left, Craig Wiley, our City Attorney. To my far left, Sandra Stewart, also a member of this board. Board, you've been presented with minutes from the previous meeting dated November the 5th, 2012. At this time, the floor is open for comments or corrections.
I have none.
I have none.
Motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Did you vote? Yes.
Okay, and then I vote aye also.
Left field.
We'll move to the approval of claims for wastewater, and we'll start with the manual claims. These are claims that do not need board approval prior to being paid. Tonight we have 1 page of claims in the amount of $26,361.55. The floor is open for questions.
I have no questions.
I'm good.
Motion to approve the wastewater manual claims in the amount of $26,361.55.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye and the motion carries. Move on to regular wastewater claims, and tonight you have 2 pages of claims in the amount of $21,698.98. Floor is open for comment or questions.
Covanta, that's just the usual sewage bill
Yes.
on the trash. On page 2, the overhead door company, is that for $959?
Out at, Dave, out at DPW in the workshop,
Mm-hmm.
the spring broke on one of the doors.
That's all I have.
I have a couple questions, please, on page 1.
Mhm.
The blue beacon, in the amount of $101 for the truck wash. Is that where we're washing our
That's
trash
the garbage
trucks?
trucks, yes.
Okay, good, we're maintaining those, that's good. The second one, right underneath that, the Freightliner quality, something in the amount of $433. Sewage work parts.
I don't know, I'm just speculating that it's Wilson's ordered parts to repair a piece of equipment.
Okay. The very last entry on page 1, economy painting for $750.
Mm-hmm.
And
That-
what are we painting?
That was part of the bond issue.
Okay,
On the storage building out of DPW, on the backside, half the gutters were missing. So they put up new gutters on the half that was missing, and then they painted it.
they pay for the gutters as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
If there's no further questions, I'll ask for a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to approve as presented?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye and the motion carries. There's no old business to carry forward from last meeting. New business, I want to advise the board that there's a couple things going on with the sanitary sewer system. Number one is we have a problem at the intersection of 9th and Fletcher, and it involves a bend in the pipe as it reaches 9th Street. So we're going to have to go in there and fix that. I don't think we have any choice. So we're working through that to see how much it's going to cost, and then we'll go from there. We have the same issue on South 4th Avenue from Ash to Elm. Last year they went in, I think it was last year, they went in and they rooted it all out to buy some time, but we're going to have to go in there and reline that sewer line from Ash Street to Elm, so they're looking at that as well.
What problems is it causing right now?
Right now, they have slow drainage, but last year, I think it was last year or the year before, then when they went in there and did it, it was backing up in people's homes. So that's something that we met about it last week, and we're going to have to look to see what that is going to cost, and then we're going to have to fix that somehow. They did some smoke testing on Grovewood Drive and Grovewood Place. They're trying to look at how to separate stormwater from getting into the sanitary sewer system. So that's what that was about. So we're looking at a couple of these things to take care of. I doubt that any of this will be done probably sometime in the late first quarter of next year. So I just wanted to advise the board on that. So with that, that's the only new business we have, and that was just an advisement. So we'll move to comments from board members.
I have none.
Can I go back to that topic?
Yes.
Why are we waiting till first quarter if people are having drainage backed up into their homes?
Well, they have to go in there and they have to televise it,
Okay.
and then they have to come up with the best way to fix it, whether that's to be to reline it or to dig it out. Don't know. And that takes just a little bit of time. And we're entering the end of the year, so we'll just have to see where we're at.
Thank you.
If there's not any other comments, I'll ask to motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
The meeting will be adjourned 6:05 p.m. We will meet again on December the 3rd at 6 p.m. Thank you. Board of Works will reconvene in 5 minutes.
So.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening and welcome to the second and third 3 meetings this evening. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove. At this time, we'll convene our Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. In lieu of a roll call, I'll introduce each participant. To my far right, Dave Harrison. To my immediate right, Dan McMillan, our Clerk Treasurer. To my immediate left, Craig Wiley, our City Attorney. And to my far left, Sandy Stewart, also a member of this board. Board members, you've been presented minutes from the previous meeting dated November the 5th, 2012. This time the floor is open for comments or corrections.
No comments or corrections?
I have none.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Next on the agenda is approval of claims. And at this time, we'll start with the manual claims. These are claims that do not require board approval prior to being paid. There's 4 pages this evening in the amount of $484,024.88. Floor is open for comments or questions.
A lot on there for Citizens Energy. Is that for the work they're doing on Main Street?
No, this is all water bills.
No. I thought it was okay.
The project on Main Street is not costing the city of Beech Grove any money at all.
Okay.
This is all water bill.
Okay.
And these may seem high, but Citizens is actually, a lot of these are probably 57-day bills
Okay.
because of the way they switched their billing over.
I have a question on page 2, please. About 3/4 of the way down, the Selco Products Incorporated. It's a $59, but why is it on this bill?
Who is it for?
Selco Products,
Yeah.
thermostat for sign maker. Should it be on the manual claims? I guess that's what I'm asking.
What page you on, Sam?
I'm sorry,
Right,
page 2.
Page 2, Dan.
Oh, okay, page 2. Okay. Thermostat for sign meter.
The guys, what that is they, out there at DPW, they make, some of the signs they make themselves.
I see, okay.
So
Okay, that
I-
makes sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense. That should be where it is. Okay, thank you.
And the majority of this is payroll.
Mhm.
If there's no further questions or comment, I'll ask for a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. We'll move to the regular corporation claims. Tonight, there are 4 pages in the amount of $112,649.17. Floor is open for comment or questions.
I have a question on page 1, please.
Mhm.
The first 2 entries, Network Solutions. What did we need at the senior citizen for equipment? An amount of $88.50.
This was, this is for part of their telephone system. And anyway, when the lightning strike hit, it damaged some stuff that was on the tower.
Okay.
And the tower actually does their telephone service. And so the first 2 entries both have something to do with that.
Okay, perfect, thank you. On page 2, K&K Fence Company installed chain link fence in the amount of $1,393.
This is part of the bond issue. They put in new air conditioning units
Okay.
in the park,
Mhm.
and then one out here. And then, so we put fences around those 2, and there's one on the side of this building. We put a fence around it to try to deter somebody from stealing the units.
Thank you. Also, just a few down from there, American Legal Publishing, in the amount of $650.
That is when the city council passes an ordinance, we send it to American Legal Publishing, and they write it in the ordinance book and
Okay.
keep it updated online, and,
Okay,
but it has to do with that.
good to know, thank you.
On page 1 there, the new tech roofing for the city administration,
Mhm.
is that for the whole, I guess that's part of the bond, right?
Yes, that's
And-
part of the bond issue, and that's the flat roof over here.
And they're done with that now then?
Yeah.
As far as you know?
Yes, that's all completed,
That's great.
and I think there was 2 roofs on there, and they tore both roofs off down to the cement and started over.
Oh, really? Have all the roofs been replaced yet or
No.
not? Really?
They're working on the roof at the fire station this week, and I think that's it.
Okay.
South Grove Park,
Ah,
Shingle
South Grove.
Grove. And they were waiting because then the restroom building and the little lift station behind it's going to be painted. And for some reason, that's thrown a glitch into that. I don't know exactly what it is.
Okay.
But they did a nice job on this roof here, Dave.
Good. Very good.
More questions, please?
Mhm.
3/4 the way down for Lowe's, fire supplies. What kind of fire supplies do we buy at Lowe's for the fire department? 'Cause I think,
What's the amount?
I'm sorry.
What's the amount?
Right here. There's a park.
One's for over 1,000, then there's like,
Okay. That was for wood for the flashover training, where all 3 shifts went out to the flashover trainer, and that's for the barking board use in the training.
okay, thank you.
Where was that at? Oh, here it is.
No, down towards the,
I have more, can I keep going?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely, yes.
Okay, still page 2, the very last entry, City of Southport ordinance deferrals.
That is, our court hears Southport's tickets, and so we reimburse them a percentage.
Thank you. I keep going?
Yes.
I'm sorry, page 3, just a tad bit under halfway down. Mark Schwartz, $1,546. Just want to check on that.
That was for ballistic helmets.
Okay.
Had to use a charge card since the city doesn't have one, we don't have an account,
Okay,
so I charged it online.
okay, thank you, good to know. And the one right above that, the collision solutions for $1,991.
That's probably one of the police cars that was hit, and that is, we have insurance money to pay for part of it, then we're paying a deductible, and we're going after the other person's insurance to get our deductible back, which
Okay.
will even it out.
Okay, good, okay, thank you. 2 more and I'll be done.
Mm-hmm.
LTD lawn care, we're still mowing grass in November, can we be done?
I think we are done.
Okay.
I think we were done first part of October.
Okay. Last but not least, Wild Ridge Lawn and Landscape, in the amount of $500.
They removed 1 or 2 trees out on Emerson Avenue. One died, and one, I think they relocated for something. I'd have to ask Brad.
All right. Thank you. Okay, I thought I was done, sorry. One more. Page 4, Christmas Done Bright. My guess that's for the Christmas decorations for Main Street?
No, I think that's for, there's some lighting for out front here, lighting in the park and lighting in the roundabout, if I'm not mistaken.
All I know is it's Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm just not sure.
Okay, it's just lighting.
Mhm.
So it is or is not Christmas decorations?
It is Christmas.
It is
It's, yeah, Christmas lighting.
Okay, perfect. So do we, is that all like rented lights they put up and take down, or?
We purchased.
We purchase them and we put them up and take them down.
Okay. No more questions.
Dave, any comments or questions?
No, Sandy asked all mine.
If not, I'll
Sorry,
ask
Dan.
for a motion to approve the corporate regular claims in the amount of $112,649.17.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye and the motion carries. On to old business, perf recommendation. This time I will defer to our city attorney for comment.
Thanks, Mayor. As you recall from our last meeting, there was the issue was presented as to what we should do with the city's contribution for police and fire pension fund. In the letter in your packet, I kind of set forth, for historical purposes, why this came before the board. In essence, in the past, there was a 27% local contribution pursuant to our labor agreements. 24 is to be paid by the city, 3 by the police and fire. Due to the performance of the fund, which is doing better, which is a good thing, the local contribution now is 25.7. And the issue was whether we could lower the amount and pay 22.7% and then have police and fire continue to pay 3. When I took a look at this, I did some research. I talked to some folks who deal in labor agreements. My law firm is a national labor employment law firm. I talked to folks who do this on a daily basis, and after reviewing our police and fire agreements, the consensus was is due to the, and I asked them to put themselves in the shoes of an arbiter. If this issue in the unlikely, then hopefully it would never go to arbitration, but how this would be interpreted. And the consensus was is since the agreements contemplate a larger contribution as opposed to a lower contribution, that it'd probably be safe to err on the side of caution and continue to pay, or continue for us to pay, it would be 24%, and then the police and fire would pay 1.7, as we have been doing in the past. So, that, based on that, this is my recommendation. Be happy to answer any questions.
I'd like to comment on it. Can you pass that down to Sandra? And there's one. Sorry. First of all, under section 6, it says members of the department shall be responsible for contributing 3% of the pension base to the fund. A higher level of participation by the city in the fund may be established in the city's salary ordinance. If adopted by the common council, shall supersede the contribution level set forth herein, which the common council voted it down, and it is not in our salary ordinance.
Dan, may I interrupt you? What are you
Yeah.
reading from?
This is actually the insert that Craig had in there.
Okay. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
And then, under section 1, conditions, under C, it says the common council adopts a valid appropriation sufficient to the fund provisions of this agreement and a salary resolution providing for the salaries and other benefits provided for in this agreement, which I don't think that was done. But most importantly, this handout I just gave to you just now, I'd like to read a few things on here because just let me read down a little bit. PERF is reporting to my office that neither we nor the employees have overpaid by any significant amount. They also have reported to my office that we are in compliance with state statute with the 22.7% the city is paying for labor and the 9.25% we are paying for civilians. On October the 15th, the city did an additional appropriation for public safety, and we will need to do another one before the end of the year to fund this. To address Craig's statement that the city is solvent. As of today, the city has $1,687,897.40 in the corporation account. All the tax payments that we will receive in November have been receipted in. The majority of the property tax payments that come in on December 31st will be used to pay off the over $1.6 million tax anticipation warrant that is due on December 31st. As of today, the city corporate account listed above includes the rainy day fund that has $193,019.24, which we would need permission from the Department of Local Government to dip into, $100,413.60 in the Main Street project money, the Amtrak money, and $466,842.71 in bond money that we are not allowed dipping in for any expenses. This leaves the corporate account with a balance of $927,621.85. Tonight's docket for corporate claims are approximately $597,000. Wastewater dockets total $48,000. In addition to the everyday ordinary expenses of running the city, we have the following expenses remaining just in payroll for 2012. 3 pay cycles that are $225,000, so approximately $675,000. 1 retiree pay cycle of $63,000. Clothing allowance for the fire and police, approximately $24,000. December health, life, and dental, approximately $70,000. PERB payments, 5 pays remaining, approximately $150,000. As you can see, just payroll expenses alone will total approximately $982,000. We also have a large bill coming from Calumet for the recent paving project. I think between the city and sewage, it will be approximately $160,000. We still have 2 more meetings and this board knows what the dockets run per meeting. They're normally in excess of $500,000. The city sewage account information is as follows. On January 1st, 2012, we started with a balance of $626,465.55. On October 31st, 2012, we have a balance of $958,085.56. That is a profit of approximately $331,500 year to date. Currently, I have in my office a bill from Citizens Energy for over $71,000. According to our outstanding bond agreement, we must maintain a balance of a minimum of $600,000 in this account. Money owed to the city from sewage works. This year, we had a return on investment payment appropriated for $436,000 that was to be paid to the general fund, the corporate account. This payment was included in the 2012 budget revenues. We have not been able to take the payment because the funds are not available. We also have a pilot payment that was appropriated for $86,316. We have not taken that payment. Next year's revenues from the sewage works were budgeted in the 2013 budget as follows. $706,892 return on investment payment, up approximately $71,000 from 2012. $142,196 utility pilot payment, up approximately $56,000 from 2012. The revenues were figured with the assistance of Jeff Peters' office and upon the assumption that the sewer rates were going to be raised. This year's revenues included St. Francis being open the first 3 months of the year. Beginning with the December 15th payment for January 1st, our SRF payment, that's the revolving loan payment, will increase from $11,348 monthly to $16,496 monthly, and in June it'll go to $20,265.73 monthly. Each year going forward, these loan payments increase twice a year. At the first city meeting in December, I intended to ask permission from the Board of Works and City Council to make any necessary transfers between the corporate, sewage, and Main Street loan accounts to keep the bank accounts in the positive and in compliance with bond agreements. I also intend to present an ordinance to the council to merge the Main Street redevelopment account, Main Street loans, with the city corporate account, which will dissolve that bank account. I have already asked the city attorney to do this, and I was hoping it would be ready for tonight's meeting. No one consulted me to ask me what shape the city was in. I don't know how they said that the city is solvent, because it's getting very close to not being that way. In the month of June, I reported to the council that we would not have made payroll if I would have not have gotten tax anticipation early payments. And in December, I'm not sure how we're supposed to make payments, because as you can see, just the everyday bills will not cover the amount of money that is needed to do this. And as far as the police and fire, here is in this same packet I just gave you, the fire to date to pension, we had a $3.88 credit from the fire and a credit of $409.54 with the police for perf. So I'd just like to say that the city does not have the money to do this, and the way things are going, we haven't even seen the circuit breaker or anything else with what may happen next year. We know that we've got increases in sewage payments and everything else, but next year the actual utility, like I say, is supposed to give us a return on investment of $800,000. We didn't even make that much this year, so we won't get, I don't think, what they had budgeted for this year. And the hospital was open 3 months of the year. So I think it's pretty dire straits, and I think it would be irresponsible for us to move forward with this.
Questions for the clerk?
How much extra is this gonna, with this run us? Do you have any idea?
I'm not sure of the exact amount, but my thing is, Dave, I can't even come up with enough to do payroll without digging into other things. And I think this is, like I say, when I started checking these numbers further, and like I say, it's nothing new. I told people 3 months into my term that we was not going to be able to make payroll in June. I told them the first meeting of June that we wasn't going to make it in December. And, you know,
So these 5 per payment, or these 5 remaining payments, that's what we pay now?
that will be for the remainder of the year.
How do you, we make them what, once a week or something?
No, what's actually happened this year here, we will start doing them, well, she just started in October. We'll pay them every 2 weeks when payroll hits.
Can I ask a question? If you're paying them every 2 weeks when payroll hits, why do you have 5 payments left?
Because in the month of October is when they actually started the payroll, so they gave them a grace period to get this caught up until December 28th, because you're paying 5 quarters in the year 2012 instead of 4. So that's the reason why that's being done. And to get it caught up, there's actually 5 that she hasn't done because of the grace period that was thrown in there.
Was this budgeted for 2012?
2012?
For this
Yes.
year?
I want to hear from the FOP and the 416.
Dan, I did a quick calculation because it was $66, and if you take 1.3% away from the $66, it works out to right at $28 is how it would work out. So it's with 62 perf individuals between police and fire, I have $8,680 over the next 5 payments total. This difference. Does that sound about right? I think it was $21,000 just for the fire side for the entire year.
Right.
To me, it's a small percentage number, so it's stuff I have in my head. I'm going to go back to the contract. This is 24%, it says 3%. There's also another clause within the contract that talks about if we wanted to make changes to go above or beyond or pay more, then you go to the city council. Other than that, if it's a lesser amount or the amount stays the same, it doesn't have to go to the city council. It is up to the Board of Works or the mayor to make that decision.
Can you tell me when the last time the city of Beech Grove paid 24%?
No, because I thought the city of Beech Grove was paying 24% all along, because that's what we've always been told.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, except
But
for
there's other things in this contract too. Have you gotten a $3,000 raise every year?
Well, no, that's done. I finished at 2010 when the contract was done. Now, no, we haven't gotten a raise, and why would I come to a city that's struggling for funds to ask for a raise? That'd be irresponsible of me for right now. However, I feel that the police and fire and the employees of Beech Grove have been very patient and trying to help the city get back to where they are somewhat solvent, and that's the reason, another reason we don't really want to cut any type of benefits or anything for those employees who have worked very hard for the citizens of Beech Grove and worked very hard for the different city administrations that we've had working here trying to fix this problem and to deal with the economy of which we have these days.
Well, and you know, I want to agree with you. I think they have worked very hard, but at the same point, so has the civilian employees that are only getting 9.25%, and you guys are getting 22.7, and now you want it up to 24.
It's not up to 24, it's in our contract, and it's been that way since 2008, Dan.
I know, but so was the part in there about the $3,000 raise, and
It was up to 2010, and then it stopped at 2010, and then after the contract, it's a year-to-year negotiational base. We haven't negotiated contract since 2010 because Mayor Joe Wright was leaving and was in no position to do a contract. And then we had Terry Deal for 1 year, and he chose to hold off and wait until we were able to negotiate a contract after the election because he didn't want to make it an election point.
have you negotiated a contract for 2012? In
2013,
2012 for 2013?
we have met off and on. We have not finished negotiations.
So in other words, 2013 is going to be off this same contract that you're doing
No, that's not the goal.
Huh?
That's not the goal.
I'm just saying at the present time, that's how it would be.
Presently, yes, we have a contract that is 2012 with an evergreen clause that continues year and year and year and year. We have not come to the city and demanded a pay raise. We know it's kind of a pointless cause, but we also, when it came to benefits, we've stood our ground because we feel we deserve them, we've earned them, and I feel like all city employees deserve the benefits of which they have been receiving because they have worked very hard for the city.
When was the last time you guys had a raise?
2010. Actually, the end of 2009 through 2010.
In the budget for 2013, is there raises?
No.
In 2000?
Nobody gets a raise.
Well, what I don't understand is, this was brought up before the city council, and I voted for it, but it was voted down.
What was?
This, the perf.
The money, the COET money, of which the city receives, was approved. The pension base increase was also in the salary ordinance, which you guys approved and did not amend.
It's not in the salary ordinance. This perf is not in the salary ordinance.
If you look at pension base or first-class firefighter, it says $54,000. I believe it is right there in the fire side and also on the police side, I think it says first-class patrolman.
Yes.
At $54,000.
The council heard a ordinance to increase the pension contribution on behalf of the city to 24.5%.
Yeah.
And the
That's
council
what they
said
turned
no.
down.
So it reverts back.
We went for an increase, and that's what you guys turned down. That's what we had to take to the council. But that was under the understanding that the city was still paying 24%. The city's still paying 22.7%.
So you actually went for a 0.5% increase, is what you're saying, before the council?
That's what we had recommended, yes.
Chris, do you
Instead of a
remember,
pay raise.
was you paying 24 last year, do you remember?
I do not have that figure in my mind, Dennis, sorry.
Okay.
PERF did not, when I spoke with them, did not have it before the year 2010, 11, or 12. It was not at 24%.
Julie actually usually took care of that. It was just part of.
James, I want to hear what you have to say.
I would pretty much echo what he said, the contracts are the same. I would just ask that you wouldn't vote until you had some actual figures, because the clerk treasurer even said he doesn't know how it's going to impact. He doesn't have the figures to show you.
Well,
So why would you vote on something that he can't even show you how it's going to impact it?
I just showed them an impact on the city. I can't make payroll in December without something being done. Right now.
We had no figures, though, to show how.
But the perf isn't the bottom line. The bottom line
I understand
is,
that, but if you can't show how this is going to affect, then don't vote on it until you can.
well, I've got no problem if they don't vote on it, but I'm just saying, the
I just don't
city,
want a premature vote if they don't know what they're voting on.
I understand that.
And that's all I'm asking.
All I'm trying to bring to you guys is, do you guys want a paycheck in December? Something needs to be done. Right now, we cannot do it under the circumstances we are at right now. I don't know how I can make it any clearer than that.
Any other? Aaron?
Can I add my 2 cents? You know, it's obvious we need a win-win here. We need a win for our employees, we need a win for the city. And you know, in every situation, there has to be a give and a take. You know, we're taking more from our employees because we're not giving them anything, but yet it sounds like we might be in trouble.
We are in trouble.
But there was information given to me tonight that I haven't had a chance to really look over and absorb. You know, one person saying one thing, one person saying, you know, another. I think we need to take this offline and all get together and kind of hash this out as to what is what. Right now, tonight, I don't.
You need to, my concern here is now. Dan's saying we don't have money to even make payroll. He's supposed to be the financial expert for the city and sees the books, sees the numbers. If we truly do not have money to make payroll in December, and the numbers, that's what he's supporting, then there's other conversations we'll have to have immediately.
I will recommend recommend to this board that we table this until January 1st.
Okay.
Ask for a motion to table it till the first of the year.
Make a motion to table to the first of the year.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We will table this until the first of the year, and then we'll take it up again.
When does PERF need an answer, or when do we need,
But the payments are still being made, we're just talking about the percentage of the payments.
okay. So, we're working off your contract from what year?
It was supposed to be renewed by December 31st of 2010, but due to the political environment that hangs on our contracts,
Okay,
there's an evergreen clause in there so that it protects the city, but it also protects the employee.
okay,
And the evergreen clause is until we can get it renewed or agreed upon.
okay. Is that same for police as well? Are
No,
you
we
working
have
off
a
of
current
20?
contract. We have a current contract for this year.
A current contract?
Yes.
Move on to new business, approval for fill-in crossing guard. Chief?
I don't have the paperwork on the woman's name, but a woman put in an application that she wants to be a fill-in crossing guard. I think you have the names.
Here it is right here.
It's for Susan McLaren. A background check was done on her criminally, and it checked okay, and I asked that the board approve in hiring her as the fill-in crossing guard. She won't cost the city any more money. She will just fill in when a regular crossing guard is absent.
Questions from board members? Motion to approve the chief's request.
Make a motion to approve the request.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries.
Thank you.
That concludes new business. I would ask if the fire chief could step forward and give us an update on the Richmond Hill, our response to Richmond Hill, for the board's information and the public.
Yes, last Saturday there was a terrible tragedy at Richmond Hills. Everyone's all aware of the explosion that took place. Would like to report that our V-ship was working and both engines and medic responded. Both engines to the actual explosion scene. Our medic did go towards the scene and then they were diverted to Mary Bryan, where our medic on the vehicle actually triaged over 40 patients that evening. I would like to commend our B shift and really can't say enough about those guys. They were faced with a terrible tragedy and they overcame and assisted our partners IFD, and very proud of them and their actions that night. Currently, our operations chief, Jim Pierce, he's helping with the investigation and has been detailed to that site. I would anticipate Jim to be completed probably by Wednesday this week.
Board member have comments?
So he's helping with the investigation then?
Yes, he is.
Is there any more the chief can tell us on that investigation right now?
No, there's not. It's just what you see in the news. It's an ongoing investigation due to the explosion, and it's under investigation.
On the news tonight, it said it had been converted over to a criminal homicide, and the prosecutor was looking into it.
It sure does make me proud of our guys that got to be there and responded to help out. It's good neighbors.
Yes, absolutely, and they would definitely do the same for us. That night, it was a very busy night for our crews. I know that explosion happened late in the evening, around 11:05. Our crews didn't get back on station till, I know Engine 1 and 2 till after 5 that morning. So they're, out doing their job, and like I said, I can't say enough about them and their professionalism, and very proud of all our guys at Beech Grove Fire Department. So.
Any update on the truck?
Our engine is in process, and on our Facebook, we're now have 8 weeks of updates, and you'll be able to see the engine being built online as it goes through. And it's going to be very interesting to see. So you can stay updated, watch it, and we're looking forward to it. And very much look forward to getting the apparatus in service as soon as possible as we receive it.
Do you get it in February?
We anticipate delivery the end of January. Current date of completion is January 23rd. Give or take the weather up in Appleton, Wisconsin. Hopefully, things will go smoothly and be completed.
Well, how will that be delivered to us? Will they drive it down here or truck it?
We are actually going to pay for the delivery of it. Just with the weather, I'd really hate to see our guys have to drive it down from Appleton in the middle of winter. So we're going to pay the extra money, have that vehicle delivered to us. It'll go directly to Global Shops where they will detail it and then bring it down for delivery.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Any other comments from board members?
I hope that when we sit down next year to talk about, the contracts and perf and the situation of the city financially, I hope that when we sit down together as a team and we have facts in front of us, I've got so much paperwork here, of this, that, and the other. We've got to come together before we meet again, all of us, and really hash this out, because it's got to be, like I said, a win-win for the employees and a win-win for the city as well. So I hope that we can do that the first of the year.
Dave?
No, I have no comment.
Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting's adjourned 6:47 PM. We will reconvene on Monday, December the 3rd.